Hi, I'm Howard Chewy for Howard Forums. Here's my review of the Blackberry Q10. It's funny, not that long ago, most smartphones came with a keyboard attached to it. You see, as people got their first smartphone, the keyboard was a familiar feature for them. However, in the past year or two, keyboards have become increasingly rare. However, some people still prefer their keyboard, so here we are. Unlike previous Blackberries, each row of keys on the Q10's keyboard is straight. I didn't realize it at first, but it did take me a short while before I was able to type on it accurately because of this. Compared to the Bold 9900, both keyboards have identical feedback, but the paint on the Q10's keys is actually a little bit softer. I actually prefer that. Like the Z10, the Q10 features BlackBerry's latest OS, BB10. You navigate the menu using gestures on the touchscreen. So you swipe up once to unlock the screen, and then you can also turn it on that way. You swipe left to take you to the hub. It's sort of like a universal inbox, but it also handles things like calls and calendar information. And swiping right allows you to launch your programs. The camera has an unlimited burst mode. Let me turn it on. It's able to shoot at about 5 frames per second as long as you hold the shutter button down. You're able to trip the shutter using the space bar, or you can just tap the screen. And so there, I just shot off 50 pictures. There's also a time shift mode. Let me turn that on. And what the time shift mode is able to do is it's able to capture photos before you press the shutter button. So I'm going to move my iPhone across the frame, and I'm not going to press the shutter button until it reaches here. So check it out. So look, it was actually able to capture all these photos before I pressed the shutter button, as well as some more after. Unlike most other smartphones, the Q10 has a 3.1-inch screen that's square-shaped, which is a bit unusual. It's a Super AMOLED display with a 720 by 720 resolution. While some Super AMOLED displays struggle outdoors, the Q10 actually works quite well in bright sunlight. It's reasonably sharp, though its display is arranged in a pentile matrix, which makes it slightly sloppy looking if you look carefully, but it's something you get used to quickly. On the back is an 8-megapixel camera, and underneath the removable cover is a 2100 milliamp hour battery and a micro SD slot. 2100 milliamp hours is actually quite a lot considering the Q10's small display. In addition to the micro USB, there's a micro HDMI, which is nice since you don't have to muck around with an MHL adapter. Under the hood, the Q10 is powered by a dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 processor clocked at 1.5 GHz with 2 GB of RAM. You'll notice that these specs are the same as last year's Samsung Galaxy S3. While it's tempting to say that the Q10 is a bit dated in this respect, you have to remember that they're running different operating systems, so you can't really compare them directly. I will say that the Q10 feels pretty quick most of the time. It's also worth mentioning that there aren't tons of games available for the Q10, so in absolute terms, the performance isn't quite as important as it is on the Galaxy S3. As great as the keyboard is, it takes up a lot of valuable space, which could have been used to make the screen bigger. If you're the type of user who's comfortable with a touchscreen, it's just not worth sacrificing part of your screen for a physical keyboard. Just check out what Howard Forums looks like on the Q10 versus the Z10 on default zoom. You see, look how much more information you can see on the Z10 because it doesn't have a physical keyboard. And I'm not sure if the Q10s from other carriers are like this, but the one I got didn't come with a carrying case or a belt pouch. Previous Blackberries usually came with something, so I'm a little disappointed about this. If you have an older QWERTY Blackberry and have been shunning touchscreen-only devices and have been waiting for a BB10 device, your wait is over. Stop watching now, run out and buy a Q10. There's no reason to hang on to your old Berry. Just watch out. There's a slight learning curve. BB10 is very different from older versions of the Blackberry OS. When I first used the Q10, I have to admit, even though I've used the Z10 extensively, I was pretty disoriented. When I pick up a QWERTY Blackberry, my first instinct is to look for the trackpad, the menu, and the back button. The Q10 doesn't have any of these. As for the Z10, I'll break it down for you in one sentence. If you're willing to trade over 40% of your screen for a physical keyboard, then go for the Q10. Otherwise, stick with the Z10. You're not going to like this answer, but it's a question of whether you want a physical keyboard or not, and whether you want a BB10 powered phone. As far as BB10 goes, it's a decent operating system, but its big weakness is that there aren't tons of apps available for it like there are on iOS and Android. While it's true you can actually modify Android apps so that they'll install on your Q10, not all of them will work, so don't buy a Q10 thinking that it will run every single Android app out there. Also, check it out. The last high-end QWERTY phone from Blackberry was the Bold 9900. It came out 18 months ago, and let's be honest, it was already a bit dated when it came out. Still, despite the long period of time between this and the Q10, no one has really stepped in to fill this void for a QWERTY phone. So really, BlackBerry is catching a bit of a break here. The Q10 is coming out with virtually no competitors in its niche. So in the end, I'd give the Blackberry Q10 8 out of 10 Howies. I'm Howard Chui for Howard Forums. That's my Blackberry Q10 review. Make sure you check out Howard Forums for my full written review, along with reviews for other phones. Thanks for watching.